America's Society and Council of the Americas are just two very special organizations, founded by David Rockefeller 50 years ago, with a tradition of bringing private sector leaders together with public sector leaders, thinking about really important issues based on this idea that communicating is the most important thing to get any agenda accomplished.
I mean, you really have two aspects of international relations, government to government and people to people. And the ASCOA makes a major contribution to people relations throughout the hemisphere.
What we have in common is that we have the same passion, which is to create economic growth and growth in general for the hemisphere.
One of the things that I'm very proud of, and the organization I think should be very proud of, is the work that we did on getting the United States to go along with NAFTA and helping get the Panama and Colombia free trade agreements approved.
Before the Americas Society, there was no internet, obviously. There was no way that you knew what was happening in Brazil or in Uruguay or in Chile in terms of arts and literature. It was very difficult. And this was this meeting point and the center to find out about all of these.
The Council of the Americas and the Americas Society were created in 1965, which is just about the time that I had begun my career in the Foreign Service. And I had assignments to Latin America in those early days. And the main thing, of course, that has changed is that countries are much more democratic throughout the hemisphere now. There's freedom that reigns through virtually the entire hemisphere. There's a more vigorous private sector as a result. And there are many more opportunities for business and educational and cultural exchange.
If you look back at those artists and musicians who were here 30 and 40 years ago, they were the avant-garde of the time. Andy Warhol performed here, Marta Menuhin. They were performance artists way back then, and just now are they known.
The Americas Society has become one of the most important forums in New York and therefore in the world to show, to share with everybody Latin American culture. Our gallery has become by far one of the really most important keystones in the world of Latin American art and architecture and design. Supporting that space and supporting that program has become essential.
The Washington programs can be very, very valuable, and the highlight every year is the annual Washington Conference, which takes place in the Department of State.
We have transformed the Americas Society and Council of the Americas into a hemispheric organization. We're not just a U.S. organization any longer. Our members come from around the hemisphere and around the world. We've renovated the building. We've renovated the David Rockefeller Atrium in honor of our chairman and our founder.
We had decided to complement the architectural work with a very important on-site piece, a very important site-specific piece for the atrium done by a young Latin American artist. The atrium, that new space, will be completed only when her piece becomes a reality.
The Americas Society Cultural Program has really done what David Rockefeller's vision was, which was to tend bridges of understanding between our countries.
I cannot talk about the Council of the Americas and the Americas Society without mentioning David Rockefeller, our founder and leader for the last 50 years. Without David's vision and leadership, this society and the Council could not have done what it has done to improve the relationship between Latin America and the United States over the last 50 years.
I don't know if our mission has really changed. How you execute missions change. I go back in time to think about the trips that we used to take, the Chairman's International Advisory Council trips that David Rockefeller used to lead in Latin America with all the Chairman's Council members and members of the board. What was that about? That was about communicating. That is what gave me the idea that why only do this once a year? Let's do that every year. It's in 8 cities, in 9 cities, in 10 cities, so that we can engage and communicate better.
Young leaders and not so young leaders have to come together because that combination is very, very powerful, so that we can keep this organization fresh, and the participation of diverse people from different countries, from different professions is very, very important.
And where we can really focus on the issues that are relevant today, the issues that are relevant tomorrow, and the issues that are relevant 50 years in the future.
The importance of honoring Miguel Alemán is to recognize both the length and the breadth of his service, not only to his community in Mexico, but to the hemisphere as a whole, as a businessman, as a politician, and as a philanthropist.
Having people like Larry believing in Latin America, in the hemisphere as in general, is very important because these are the people that can create change. And when they have a vision, as I said, others follow, and I definitely concur with that vision. The more we are going to make this change possible.